Happy New Year, Bears fans. What a year it's been here in 2025. And now we're looking ahead to 2026 and Super Bowl dreams. How about that? What a year, what a difference a year makes. It's the Brick by Brick podcast with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah, and we are starting right now. Welcome back to the Brick by Brick podcast. We are presented by Circus Sports Illinois and Empire today. Make sure you're hitting up circusports.com for all your gambling needs, and make sure if you're using Empire today to use the code CHGO for $350 off all your flooring needs. I am your host, Greg Briggs Jr., and alongside me, as always, is Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. And Briggs
Happy New Year!
Merry New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.
It's been a merry 2025, and now 2026 is upon us here. The ball will drop tonight, and we're hoping that the Bears become Cinderella and they don't turn into a pumpkin. That's, I think, the biggest key, as you know, as we always do, and hit the vibe check to start the Brick by Brick podcast. Because let me break it down for you guys. I mean, for everything that went right over the 10-day period where the Bears beat the Packers, then the Lions beat the Steelers, or the Lions lose to the Steelers, then the Lions lose to the Vikings, and then the Packers lose to the Ravens, leading to the Bears winning the division. Since then, nothing has gone right for the Bears. The Panthers, we needed the Panthers to win over Seattle. That didn't happen. Then we needed the Bills to beat the Eagles. That didn't happen. Then we needed the Bears to beat the 49ers. They just fell short. And then last night, the Rams and Falcons. If you're looking at different potential wild card matchups, I think most Bears fans are rooting for the Rams to beat the Falcons last night, and instead the Falcons beat the Bears. So nothing's getting handed to the Bears here to end the year. They're going to have to earn it. If they want that 2 seed, they're going to have to go and take it themselves.
They got to take care of business. That's ultimately the goal. They've had a fantastic season up until this point, and they just got to finish on a high note with beating the Lions. And it's not going to be tough. I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very tough and very difficult because this team has a lot of pride. Even though they're not playing for much of anything, they still have a lot of pride, and they would definitely love to put another 50 burger on the Chicago Bears. So we can't forget about that. But it's up to the Bears to make some adjustments too, because they know that they have a playoff berth, and they know that they're trying to advance deep into the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. But there's a lot of things that need to be fixed, and it's definitely important to try to iron those things out, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I'm not too worried, but defensively, I'm very worried because, as we know, defense wins championships. And with this defense that we have right now, a championship is not in sight. I can assure you that. So
we've come too far. We've come too far, and we're at the point now where it's the glaring issue right now going into the last game of the season and into the playoffs is the defense. We really need, and I'm really concerned at the movement of our linebackers, the high lows, those dig routes coming around the that are wide open. You have Amon St. Brown, who's going to be a problem. You have Jahmyr Gibbs. You're going to have to find a way to slow him down. But this is a great test to see if our linebackers have learn from this last atrocious game, against the 49ers?
Yeah,
How are
and
we
then
going to fit those gaps?
And then also, I mean, as you know, the game of football, especially on the defensive side, starts up front. So Jahmyr Gibbs is a hell of a running back.
Yeah.
And once he gets a little crease, this dude has the potential to take it all the way to the house. He's a house call waiting to happen. So it'll be imperative for the Bears to be very gap controlled, especially with their defensive line. And then in passing situations, they just have to win their matchups and get to the quarterback. They can't allow this quarterback to just pick apart this defense.
It gives me a migraine thinking about it. Migraine.
It's a lot of problems, though. There's a lot of issues with the Chicago Bears defense right now on every single level, and they've done a tremendous job with like putting things together and substituting, getting the right substitutions in there to take care of like the guys that are injured, the starters. But they're breaking down right now, and they're breaking down at a bad time of the year. I mean, they should be figuring things out right now, or figure things out and just try to make teams one-dimensional. But right now, if you're game planning against the Bears defense, you're saying, you know what, everything is wide open right now. We can attack them however we want to attack them because they can't shut anything down.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic because they've dealt with injuries throughout the year, starting week 1 on, and have lost key players: Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Dio Dangbo's out for a year. Grady Jarrett was hurt earlier in the year. The injuries have just kept coming and coming and coming. And yet now they get to the end of the year and they're starting to get healthy. And ironically enough, when they had the guys out, they honestly were playing better than now when they're starting to get some of their guys back. There's a good chance Kyler Gordon could return here for the playoffs, but he's going to be pretty rusty. I'm sure that's not going to stop them from putting him out there. That's why they pay him the big bucks. But that being said, guys like DeMarco Jackson and others, certainly made a stamp in the point of the season where the Bears made their playoff push. Now you get, the cavalry back, and they're trying to work themselves back up to the level of expectation that I think the organization has for them. So we're going to get into the blueprint on how to beat the Lions in this pivotal game here coming up. Here in a couple segments, as we always do on the Brick by Brick podcast. We'll give you the keys to the game. We got some New Year's resolutions here coming up in the next segment to get to, some goals for 2026. And then, of course, we'll help you make some money with bets. But now that the Rams have beaten the Rams lost to the Falcons, the playoff scenarios, they're a little convoluted, and I won't try to do the math on them. But really, the Bears beat the Lions, and they get round 3 of the Green Bay Packers. But more importantly, the 2 seed, which guarantees you a minimum of 2 home games if you were to advance from the wild card to the divisional, and then possibly a 3rd home game if you get to the NFC Championship and the 1 seed is knocked off at that point. So that's all that matters here for the Bears, and we'll get into that blueprint. But I did want to take this time here in our first block to, hey, if you haven't subscribed to CHGO Sports or CHGO Bears yet on our YouTube channel, please do so. We appreciate you, as yesterday we crossed the 100,000 subscriber threshold.
Nice.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, it really can't be understated how big that is for any channel on YouTube. It's like 0.1% of YouTube channels get to 100,000 subscribers. It's a huge mark for what we're doing as a company, but it's a testament to all of you out there that have shown your support to what we do and help build this community, and Bears fans watching this. You guys are such a big part of this. I mean, we cover at CHGO Sports all the teams in the city: the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox, the Chicago Sky, the Fire, everybody. But Bears fans, you guys are different. And the numbers we get, the viewership we get, the support we get, the subscribers, the diehards, the people that come to our tailgates, it's second to none. And we love you guys very much. And I just wanted to take this moment now as we really hit a peak moment for this company that I'm very proud to work with here at CHGO Sports, to thank all of you and you guys, Jerry, Lance, jumping on board here in the last year or two. It has been a pleasure and an honor for me personally to work with you, but I know how much the fans as well appreciate you guys, not just bringing your insight, but bringing the love and the passion and the energy and the fun that we have here on this show.
It's been a great ride. And glad to be part of the team. And listen, man, this is all about CHGO.
That's right. Glad to be a part of it.
All day. Even though Briggs was calling me soft at 2 a.m. last week.
Briggs, you've been throwing that word around a lot lately.
Because I've been seeing a lot of soft lately.
My goodness.
This is a bad time of the year to be seeing soft now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Well,
you're going to keep it real.
All right. Well, I'm going to tighten up here this Sunday. I'm going to tighten up because I'm going to be in the stands.
Yeah.
So
put some bricks in your pocket.
That brings a different level of energy. I know Briggs was very critical of my lethargic energy walking into the studio for Bears-Niners, but I am coming with a game day mentality this Sunday.
There you go.
Come on.
We're going to need that.
Now we need the Bears to match that energy as well. And there's a lot of things for the Bears to accomplish. But first and foremost, got to get that win. Got to get back on the right track. And I think the beauty of winning the game is not only locking up the 2 seed, but now you have a chance to beat the Lions and Packers in back-to-back weeks. Mm-hmm. You talk about taking the North and never giving it back. Well, hey, you just won the North, and now you got to put your stamp on 2 teams that thought they woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Right. It's important too that you split the series with Detroit.
Super important.
You don't want them to sweep. You don't want to finish a year letting any of these teams sweep you. You want it to actually be the other way around. But at this point right now, Detroit's already taken the first one. We have to take the second one.
I definitely, for a fact, I know that Ben is definitely thinking about that. Ben, everybody thinks about that stuff. Like, you know what? The Lions have done a fantastic job, and Ben, started his career to be really successful there. But he wants to beat this team. You know what I'm saying? It's the Lions, and they put a 50 burger on us in week 2, and we didn't forget about that. So now we have them in our house. It's time to whoop up on them.
I want to see Ben's bird chest after this win right here, man. Pull that bird chest out again.
I want to see a statement win. That's what I want to see. I want to see a win like we went up to the Eagles and beat them at their house. I want to see a statement win. I need the offense and the defense to perform, and I want to see some really big hits on special teams. So I want to see them put it all together.
Well, when you talk about that statement win against the Eagles, it came on the road, their biggest road win of the season. But interestingly enough, another reason why it is so important for the Bears to try to secure this 2 seed is they are 5-4 on the road, having one of those wins be at Philly. That was a big win, but they're 6-1 at home. So when you talk about home field advantage, the Bears, home field advantage is always going to lean that way for most teams, but this is a pretty decided difference of 6-1 at home, 5-4 on the road. And on top of that, when you talk about defense, Briggs and Azumah, and you talk about your concerns on the road, they are giving up 30.4 points per game, which is obviously last in the NFL. That is insanely pitiful. And then, having given up scores on the road of 52 to the Lions, 42 to the Bengals, 42 to the Niners, and 30 to the Ravens. And shout out to Jake B30 on Twitter for providing these stats. But then, like I said, 30.4 points per game on the road, 32nd in the NFL. But at home, defensively, they're giving up 17.4 points per game at home, and that ranks 5th in the NFL. Right. So,
home field advantage matters.
Yeah,
it definitely matters, especially at a time like right now. It's really cold in Chicago, so we have to use that to our advantage. But just playing at home, just being at home is a big advantage for the Chicago Bears.
That's something that the coaches probably need to be relaying to their team about the importance of winning this game and having home field advantage. For whatever reason, we play better. Which you should always play better at home, just not like that. It shouldn't be skewed from 17 to 34 points. You know what I mean? But But however, hey, let's be at home as much as we possibly can leading up to the Super Bowl.
Well, and I'm sure part of it has to do with if we really broke down the schedule, which we don't have to do, but like who you play, on the road versus maybe some of the matchups and timing of the matchups at home, depending on the quarterbacks, for instance. I'm just saying, like, it might that number might be skewed just a little bit in that regard of certain opponents, but you play on your schedule.
Same guys go out and play defense, right?
That's true.
Sure.
Okay. Same guys go out and play. Okay.
But we don't need to pick through.
You are correct.
All that matters is beating the Detroit Lions here on Sunday. And so we're going to talk about the blueprint here coming up in just a little bit. But we're going to take a quick timeout to give a shout out to our presenting sponsors of Circa Sports and Empire Today here to the Brick by Brick podcast. And when we come back, we'll look at the best moments in 2025 and our top goals for 2026. So hit the like button, subscribe to CHGO Sports here on YouTube. And when we come back, we'll hit all of that. Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. So bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season, whether it's spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa Sports has it for you. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois with those tight money line splits that Circa Sports always provides. You are going to want to throw your money down on the Bears. The biggest question is not if they're going to win, but who are they going to beat? Is it going to be the Rams? Is it going to be the 49ers? Or will they take care of business against the Lions on Sunday and have a dance with the Green Bay Packers here on Wild Card Weekend? Who knows? But I know you should download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Make sure you call 1-800-GAMBLER. And, of course, also got to give a shout-out to our good friends over at Empire Today, because just like your favorite team needs a home field advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get that. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day of the week. Look, we've all been to those big box stores. Yes, they're going to have a flooring department, but the person that is doing the flooring department might have been doing sinks the day before. And as we always say on the Brick by Brick podcast, you cannot trust plumbers. You can only trust bricklayers and the good people over at Empire Today, because they give you clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. So schedule a free in-home estimate today, because some things are just better at home. CHGO listeners can receive a $350 discount when using the promo code CHGO. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/CHGO for full details. All right, we are back here on the Brick by Brick podcast with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah. Don't do it. Don't do it. I said brick.
You're catching a brick right now.
You got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with the Brick by Brick podcast.
There you go.
Okay.
Brick by brick.
That's right.
Brick by brick.
That's right. But let's get into it. It's obviously the end of 2025 and a special year it was for the Chicago Bears organization and their fans, and it's been a lot of fun kind of going through it. So what I wanted to kind of take everyone through are the best moments of 2025, and then we'll look ahead to the goals of 2026 as we all make our New Year's resolutions. But this time we're going to stick to our, a lot of people give up their New Year's resolutions 3 days in, but the Bears are going to have to hold to these. But first, here are my best moments of 2025. Number one coming in, Ben Johnson becoming the head coach of the Chicago Bears. The Lions get an early exit in the playoffs last year in January, and that paved the way to the Bears having the opportunity to sign Ben Johnson. And what a transformation he has brought to the Chicago Bears organization. For me,
great moment.
Yeah, unbelievable moment. Number two, O-line transformed in free agency, from trading for Joe Tooney to signing Drew Dolman, who just made the Pro Bowl, to trading for Jonah Jackson from the Rams, who came off an injury. That interior offensive line switched to what they had last year with Coleman Shelton, Tevin Jenkins, and Nate Davis. Quite the turnaround there on the interior of the O-line. Number 3 for me, Ryan Poles taking big swings in the draft. They were highly criticized moves at the time, but it's hard to deny the impact that Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Ozzie Trapillo, Kyle Monungai.
They're all producing.
They are all producing in a big way. And so if we're gonna, let the credit be as loud as the criticism, and he has shown up that those guys were worth their weight on making those picks. Number 4, how can you deny the 6 comebacks for the Chicago Bears? Down with 2 minutes to play, they have come back and won 6 different times this season.
Sign of a champion.
Yep, it's certainly an unbelievable mark and record for a quarterback in their first 2 years to do for Caleb Williams, which for me comes in at 5. Caleb Williams, to be able to take this step in a few, when they take on the Bears or take on the Lions on Sunday, he has an opportunity to set the franchise record for passing yards. He could set the franchise record for touchdowns, and that's all in year 1 with Ben Johnson. He went from 68 sacks to being one of the best quarterbacks in sack avoidance. This will be his 2nd year in a row that he started all 17 games. He has the lowest interception rate of any quarterback in football. I could go on and on, but Caleb Williams
he's going to be here a long time. Ben's going to be here a long time, and that typically spells, competitive seasons. We're looking forward to competitive seasons.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago hasn't had a franchise quarterback, right? I don't think they've ever had a franchise quarterback. So the fact that Caleb is here and he's doing what he's doing in year number 2 is something that we should be very excited for, for the future. So the Chicago Bears' future looks very bright with Caleb Williams.
Well, and it's, the average for NFL teams starting quarterbacks starts per season is around 15. So that means more times than not, every team in the NFL is going to have to use their backup quarterback at least 2 games in a season. It's just a law of averages and just the nature of the beast that is this game. And you saw it with the Ravens and Packers last week, Malik Willis versus, Tyler Huntley. And the Bears faced Huntley earlier in the season as well, and the Bears haven't had to do that. Caleb, to be all the accolades you want to talk about statistically, the fact that he's started 34 straight games, especially when you consider last year taking 68 sacks, he's still taking a lot of hits this year, but he's avoided so many as well.
The magic man.
Yeah, he really is. Houdini, as they call him, right? And so I think that might be his best attribute of any of them right now. I mean, he is, he's not just, a guy that can kind of, we call him Chili Willie. I know that's Briggs' favorite nickname for him.
Chili Willie.
Okay. We all know. Listen, we all know your favorite nickname for him is C. Willie.
At least I didn't call him for his sack avoidance. I didn't call him Slick Willie.
No. Listen, C. Willie is enough. All right, C. Willie. Look at C. Willie go.
I think they called Bill Clinton Slick Willie. But regardless, I do think that his availability in 34 straight starts. I mean, I don't think before last year a Bears quarterback had started a full season since like 2009. So it's just a very hard thing to do. And the fact that he's been able to do better in sack avoidance, the way he's, limited his turnovers in his first 2 years. Fumbling was like a big question coming out of college. How's he going to secure the football? He didn't do as great of that in college at times. And then you add in all the other stuff from the passing yards and the touchdowns.
Yeah.
And obviously my honorable mention has to be going 2-1 versus Green Bay in 2025. And that includes the game-winning kick from Cairo Santos in Green Bay last January to start 2025, ended a 10-game losing streak, started 2025 on a positive note, finishing an ugly year last year, and on a good note, beating the Packers, and then this year, obviously, the miracle comeback win at Soldier Field. So, I don't know if you guys had any moments that stuck out for you, but those were my 5.5, 6, if you will.
If I were to think of a moment, I guess it's not really a moment, but just when Ben Johnson, was announced as the head coach, he had to put together his coaching staff. So I think that that's a really big situation that we need to address too, is that Ben really put together an all-star of coaches together that really understand his philosophy and what he's trying to achieve with the Chicago Bears. So I think that's very important because Ben can't just do it all by himself. He needs a supporting cast to do that. And he has constructed a coaching staff that understands the game of football, understands what he's trying to do with the organization and with the players, and try to get to that Super Bowl that we haven't got to in 40 years.
Yeah, he brings over JT Barrett and Antoine Randall from Detroit.
Yes.
He brings over Al Harris, the DB's coach from Dallas, who formerly played for the Packers. He gets Dan Rochar to come out of retirement, the offensive line coach. You get Declan Doyle, a young offensive mind that coached under Sean Payton, to come
Eric
over. Eric Bieniemy, a former OC for the Chiefs and a running backs coach who, helped Adrian Peterson early in his career in Minnesota. And then Dennis Allen, the New Orleans Saints, a former head coach and D coordinator who's had a lot of success on that side of the ball. So to your point, that's certainly a mark of a head coach, is what is your coaching tree? Who is your go-to staff? And now you're already hearing this upcoming offseason, which is a problem for another day. Teams are already looking for who they can poach off of this elite coaching staff. So that's a great one, Jerry.
Listen, it's even though I'm really down on the linebackers right now. Before he was hurt, Tremaine Edmonds was playing at such a high level.
He was
just making plays all over the field. From sacks to picks to big hits, and he was flying around. And you talk about a guy that's as advertised. This was what was advertised when the Bears signed him, and it was really a slow start for him, and everyone's questioning, well, why did we sign this guy? Why did we sign this guy? And he really flashed, this season, and was really proud to be able to talk about him on a weekly basis. So I'm hoping that he gets back to that level, this week and moving into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Smith is the linebackers coach. We were looking up his resume before we started the show. He's coached in the league for 45 years. He's been a D coordinator, 3 or 4 teams. He goes back to all the way back in the day of coaching the Houston Oilers. So, a guy that has been around the block more than a few times, and at times has gotten, obviously, like you talked about, Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards had, great moments earlier in the year. Then you bring in DeMarco Jackson and Amen Agbangbamiga.
There you go.
Injury.
There you go.
Agbang.
There you go.
We're doing it. So he deserves credit in those areas for having those guys shine at different times. DeMarco Jackson win an NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Maybe should have gotten it twice at one point. But now we need Richard Smith to get this linebacker core up to speed for this final week of the season. And then, of course, when we get to, as music is now playing here at the CHGO Sports Studios. Geez Louise. Anyway, get him up to speed, Richard Smith, but the coaching staff has been great. So, Lance, any other thoughts outside of those top moments in 2025? Was there any outside of, working with me and getting to watch Bears games with me.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna say. I mean, this was a very humble start for you, all right? Because last year it was Super Bowl, Super Bowl. And so what I loved about this year was it really was prove it. And even when they got into that early streak, we really tempered ourselves in saying, let's not talk playoffs yet. Let's not talk playoffs yet. I mean, let's see where this goes. And then you finally get to the point where it's like, listen, let's start talking about playoffs now. This team has earned the right for us to start talking about playoffs and getting the city really, really excited. So it's been a fun ride, as a Bear fan and a former Bear, and being around you guys and watching this team. Just feel the energy.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely this last offseason made it my goal all the way through from January when they signed Ben to training camp. Like, I wasn't going to get overhyped. I was do what I did the year before and put out these aspirations until we saw a team that actually earned it. And I did get in a very dark place when they started 0-2 this season. I was not a.
You got out of it quick though.
Yeah, because when Josh Blackwell blocked that kick in Vegas, and then I stayed in Vegas for another 10 days, I think that turned the tides. But to your point, and so now, Briggs, I warn you, when we get to this upcoming offseason, the amount of hype that I'm going to have for 2026 will be unrelenting. I will be a maniac this offseason, writing checks that the team will have to cash. And so that leads us into the goals for 2026, the New Year's resolutions for Ryan Poles and company. And so I tried to break them down into these 5 things, and I'll let you guys, give yours here, but I'll read through them for those of you listening on the audio. Number 1, fix the defensive line. I think that's abundantly clear. I know a lot of people have their eyes set on Max Crosby or Myles Garrett. We shall see if they can get a top line pass rusher like that, or if they're going to, find their way of building that D line a different way, like they did their offensive line in 2025. For me, number 2 is lock up CJ Gardner-Johnson. And maybe this is maybe it's a touch too high on the list. I'm not sure, but I really value what CJ Gardner-Johnson brings to this team. I think he has that dog mentality, but more importantly, his versatility of being able to play outside, being able to play that slot corner, being able to play safety and understand Dennis Allen's defense. With Kyler Gordon, having the injury issues, the soft tissue injuries, I think he's going to be important. And I know a lot of people have a lot of love for what Nahshon Wright has done this year, but I just don't know what the price point. I don't know what the price point will be for Nahshon Wright.
What about Jackson?
DeMarco Jackson as well. And we can get into that. So number 3 is re-sign Kevin Byard. You have a decision to make with both safeties, Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard. You can't let both of them walk. And maybe you've got to address this in the draft. But I really like the veteran leadership that Kevin Byard brings on the field and in the locker room. So that's number 3 for me. Number 4, roll with Ozzie Trapillo at left tackle. This is going to be a big decision for this Chicago Bears organization. Do you use a first-round pick on a left tackle, or do you like what you've seen from Ozzie Trapillo here in the second half of the season? It hasn't been perfect, but I think he's shown that you should invest in developing him. Roll with the 5 guys that you've been running with here these last month and a half and into the playoffs. And then number 5, simply put, don't be a one-year wonder. We've seen it many times here in Chicago where there's a flash in the pan season and then it just doesn't work out for a multitude of reasons. There's, whether it's coaches leave, or it's players leave, or there's injuries, or the division gets better. But I just think this is sustainable for what the Bears have with their coaching staff, with the talent they have on this roster. I understand the NFC North isn't going away. They're going to be just as tough next year as they have been this year. But, try not to be a one-year wonder as we've seen in 2018 and years past. So that's my 5. Briggs, you kind of spoke up when I said,
you left some names out there. I mean, obviously you love C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and you showed no love for Mr. Jackson. You know, I mean, we talked about him and his effort and the impact that he had in this very short period of time. He should be a guy that we want to lock up, and especially after watching the linebacker play this past week. A lot of people were questioning why he wasn't getting more play time or at least getting some snaps during the game. I think the other thing for me is fundamentals. I think right now, defensively, we need more consistency in the fundamentals on a weekly basis, because right now I'm seeing a lack of it, and for me, it doesn't matter if you're traveling to Cincinnati, if you're in Chicago, you're going to California, it doesn't matter where you play the game. If your fundamentals are where they're supposed to be, you're playing the ball consistency, your defense should not lack. It shouldn't be giving up that many points. They know exactly there's a standard, and the standard is the standard, and that's what
the standard is the standard. That's right. But fundamentals are very correct, Lance. I mean, the game of football is built on the foundation of fundamentals. And for some reason, like around this time, like they start to kind of get away from us. But the teams that can kind of bring it in and focus in on those little details are the ones that obviously advance further in the season and into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there any, Jerry, Briggs brings up DeMarco Jackson, which I think is certainly a fair one. Maybe didn't make my list because I think maybe he's the type of guy that you can bring back where I think it will be an easier decision in terms of price point. All due respect to DeMarco. Yeah, all due respect. But, I mean, he played in a few games. We got him off the street. He was a guy that, comes from the Saints defense, so has a familiarity with Dennis Allen, but maybe not necessarily somebody you're breaking the bank back. The Nahshon Wright decision is such
Nahshon Wright. Yeah.
And I'm concerned about overpaying. As great as he's been this year, like if you watch in the Niners game, and I understand the Bears don't have a pass rush, I understand the linebackers didn't do their job very well, but Nahshon Wright had some pretty tough moments in that Niners game. And so, you're highlighting that, though, but you're highlighting that one game over a body of work. Sure. Nahshon Wright has shown up this entire year, and he's played out of his mind this entire year. Please don't highlight this one game, because that's more of a just an. It's
like a little blip.
Yeah, that's a blip than it is what he's done this year. Don't put me in a corner where I'm denigrating Nahshon Wright or trying to take something away from him. He has been fantastic. He should have made the Pro Bowl.
He should have.
Kevin Byard said, "Don't worry, because they're going to put you on as an All-Pro for the season he's had. He leads the NFL in takeaways. He's been a revelation." But then my concern is because of the fact that he's been in the league. I think he's like 27, 28. He has this big year, and now he's due for a big payday. That's to me where it separates of I'm going to prioritize C.J. Gardner-Johnson because maybe I'm not going to have to pay as much. With Nahshon Wright, you're going to have to pay a pretty hefty dollar, and you already invested a lot of money in Jalen Johnson. You've invested a lot of money in Kyler Gordon, and so I don't know if they can allocate that much money to just corners.
Well, then look at it this way. Like you're talking about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, like we don't have a Kyler Gordon, in his offseason. Like we've seen his body of work as well, and he's paid and he's here. So at the end of the day, like save your money on CJ. All due respect, save your money on CJ. Pay Nahshon. You know what I mean? And then you also have Stevenson. Like you have some options there, but you have players that have shown that they're like Kyler's a playmaker. Yeah, Kyler's a playmaker.
Right. These guys have proved that they're worthy of the paycheck. And look, it's hard to go out there and try to replace guys as well. Like you just can't just go out there and just replace, a person that's playing at an all-pro level. It's really difficult to do that stuff. So we have to make sure that we take care of our own first before we go outside and try to get somebody else.
And speaking of that, and I know everyone will always say, I'm biased or we're biased here at CHGO Sports because Cole Kmet has been a teammate here at CHGO, but I didn't put him on the list. But I do think an honorable mention or something that I think Ryan Poles and this organization will consider is how they approach Cole Kmet here going forward. There's a lot of fans out there that want to trade DJ Moore and trade Cole Kmet because of the surplus of talent they have at the wide receiver and tight end positions. But I look at it a completely different way. Like they've shown this year, DJ and Cole, like how much you need that depth. Where would they have been the last couple of weeks when you have Roma Dunze out, Luther Burke gets hurt, and you have DJ there? You know, Colson Loveland's a rookie, and he is dynamic. He has been fantastic, especially from October on. But that being said, the amount of times that Ben Johnson runs 12 and 13 personnel, has 2 or 3 tight end formations, just because you want to pick between who your favorite tight end is, they need a minimum of 2 quality tight ends. You have Durham Smythe as your third. But to me, all right, if it's a money situation with Cole, and it certainly is with DJ Moore as well, they both got big-time extensions, deservedly so. But maybe there's an opportunity where you can restructure. I like for the fans out there that think Cole Kmet's going to get cut for cap savings, I would say to them, and this is nothing I know personally or I've been told or anything of that nature, so I don't want you to try to dissect what I'm saying here. This is a strictly gut prediction based off of how I know Ben Johnson values the tight end position in his offense. But I think there's a better chance that they give Cole a contract extension where it restructures where they can spread money out versus cutting Cole Kmet to save cap money to put that into the defensive line or whatever, for instance. So I'm just kind of getting ahead of that. And I think they could also do that with DJ Moore. He's making like $30 million a year. They have a ton of wide receiver talent, with Rome and Luther Burden, but you need DJ Moore.
Go ahead.
I think
not to cut in quickly,
I was rambling on, so please.
But I also think that they have to look at the defensive line as well. I mean, the Chicago Bears spent a lot of money on the offseason with the defensive line. So they have some interesting decisions to make with that too. I mean, Montez Sweat is making a lot of money as well, and he's coming on a little bit. But at the same time, we've got some defensive linemen that we've paid, and they haven't really, come to their potential. So we have to figure out what the deal is with the defensive line and on that defensive side with the money structure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, 2 guys that are coming up to their final year of their rookie deals, Tyreek Stevenson and Gervon Dexter, you're going to have to make decisions on. So when you talk about the defensive line, has Gervon Dexter done enough to warrant some kind of big extension? I don't know if that's the case. And that's where I'm going to stay out of it. Like, I know you're speaking strongly. Like, I like Gervon as a person. But
here we go.
Well, I do.
Here we go. Don't go to listen. You guys, you can't be going to dinner with these guys, man. You go to dinner with these guys, and then you know what I mean.
Listen, just being honest. Gervon is a good dude.
He's an awesome guy.
He is a great dude. And but if I had to be, fair analysis, has he done enough this year to warrant some kind of extension, or do you let him play his rookie deal out? I'm letting him play his rookie deal out, as I am with Tyreek Stevenson next year. Go ahead.
Well, listen, these guys, I'm watching their pass rush. And it's Velcro. They're playing right in front. They're not playing to an edge. You can't get past anybody. All right. These offensive linemen, they want you centered as much as possible. All right. If you're trying to get to the quarterback, the hardest thing for you to do is to go all the way around somebody. So why start in the middle? Get to an edge, work the edge. You are taught as a D lineman to work the edges to get to the pass rusher. And I'm seeing these guys, it's like Velcro. All right. So when you talk about who's warranted right now, there aren't enough guys right now on that defensive line that are warranted more right now. You have to prove more.
Right. That's the big question mark with this Chicago Bears team is their defensive line and what they're going to do with it. I mean, they tried to address it last year. They swung and they missed. So they're going to have to reevaluate if they want to go in the direction of the draft. I'm not exactly sure where the draft picks are, but they have to figure out what's available in the draft and if they have a really good situation where they can go and get those guys, or if they have to go back into free agency. So, I mean, the defensive line is something that is critical to the defense and to the team as a whole, as we're seeing it right now. If you can't create the pressure to get to the quarterback, well, then these professional quarterbacks are going to pick your defense apart. And we've seen this week in and week out with the Chicago Bears. So this is something that has to be addressed, and they need to start addressing it now and figuring things out now as they go into the offseason.
Yep. And I think just like the O-line last year, they will address it through free agency and the draft. And it'll be interesting to see how big a swing they take in free agency and then how they approach it. They have 6 draft picks as of right now, I believe. They have a first-round pick. It's probably going to be in the 20s, obviously, with the Bears making the playoffs. Yeah. So it's a later first-round pick. It's not going to be a top 10 pick like they've had the last few years. So you got to mix and match. And then the big question is Max Crosby or Grady Jarrett. You get Shamar Turner back, who you drafted here last year out of Texas A&M, who went out with an ACL injury. So, you know, they're going to have to make some
thrown out the saloon. Okay.
Well, come on. He'll be in his second year. Let's see how he develops. He's coming out.
Hey.
You were a big Shamar Turner guy coming out of college.
I did. Listen, I can say that, listen, he needed to keep his butt from getting thrown out the saloon. And he come back, but he come back this next year when he starts to play. You play well. I'm gonna pat you on the back.
Yeah.
All right. But if I see some stuff that you shouldn't be doing or some stuff that shouldn't be happening, we're gonna call it out.
Yep. Hey, tough love is still love. You know what I mean?
Love,
like we want our team to do exceptionally well. You know what I'm saying? And if you do, we're gonna hug you, we're gonna pat you on your back, we're gonna tell you how awesome you are. But if you out there messing up, we're gonna be pointing our finger at you. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna let you know exactly what we think about you.
When you come in,
tough love is still love. You know what I mean? And you have to have some type of tough love.
Right. And so when we draft you as a 3 technique, but you're at defensive end, okay?
Come on now.
Okay, right. All right.
Come on now. We're gonna say something now.
The Bears need some game records on the D-line, and hopefully that's one of their top New Year's resolutions. So we're going to look ahead here to the blueprint coming up next on how to beat the Lions as we are giving you the New Year's Eve special. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. 2 minutes away, and we'll give you the keys to that 2 seed for the Chicago Bears. Want to give a shout out to our good friends over at Sunnyside. Sunnyside Dispensary is here to elevate your football season and most importantly, your playoff football season, and they are your home for judgment-free shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from. With easy online ordering and in-store pickup, they make it as convenient as humanly possible for you. And wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you, whether you're as far south as Champaign or up north by Wrigley Field. They got one right down the street from the marquee. So head to their website for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. For returning customers, use code CHGO50. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Dispensary, bright buys every day, only for 21 or older or Illinois medical card holders. And then, of course, finally got to give a shout out to our good friends over at Shady Rays. As we have crossed the 100,000 subscriber threshold, Shady Rays has been with CHGO Sports from the very beginning. And not only is their loyalty changing the game, they're changing the game with these amazing sunglasses because they're made for real life, seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and most importantly, not stupidly expensive. And we all understand, hey, you went to the game a couple weeks ago against the Packers. Through the excitement, you might have lost your sunglasses, stepped on them, jumping around with fans. Well, here's the wild part about Shady Rays. If you lose or break your pair even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. They have your back, and that's why we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades, rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, we are back here on the Brick by Brick podcast with Lance Briggs and Jerry Azumah. Happy New Year to all of you out there, and we have officially hit our award-winning segment, and that is the blueprint. to beating the the Detroit Lions, not the Chicago. As I was trying to get the graphic ready. So,
all right, I got let that slide.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for that one.
Let that slide.
I'm sorry.
Whose team are you really on?
I am sorry, and I will clean this up for 2026. I am on the Bears side of things. I'll be in the stands for the game.
Making sure.
There we go.
You're out there, make sure you say hi. But Briggsy, I know normally when we do our graphics, there's like a reveal of each one. I only have the main graphic. So give your 2 keys to beating the Chicago Bears.
Listen.
Detroit Lions.
You keep doing
that.
Do you want us to lose?
Come on, man. What's going on?
My goodness.
All right.
I want them to lose.
It happens to the best of us.
All right, listen, my first key is run. You know, Zoom's been saying this, you know, last couple of weeks. We really need to commit to running the ball, but control the clock, control this team, and run the ball. Do what we do best.
All right, number 2 for you.
Number 2, we got to find ways to slow down St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. When you watch tape or you watch a game, St. Brown is all over the place, you know, and there's no way that the second leading receiver is anywhere close to the amount of receptions that he's getting. So you got to know where he is on the field. The other thing is Gibbs, you know, teams that have had success against them have really shut him down, and it only takes one play, and he's 80 yards down the field, outrunning everybody on the doggone field, and that really can open a game up for them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're moving through it, Jerry.
I'm gonna just echo what you said, Lance. So first is control the clock on offense. You know, the offense is very productive for the Chicago Bears, as we know, and then they run the ball extremely well. So they just have to continue to do that. I think that there's vulnerabilities for the Lions defense. So I think that there's a lot of situations where they can get the ball into like Monungai's hands and Swift hands, even if it's dump passes, which is kind of like an extension of the run. But if they start to do that and start to put things together and link and pick up on third downs, especially, and link drives together and score touchdowns, I think that the offense has a really good chance to be very successful this game. And then for the defense, it's limit explosive plays. Like Lance was saying, this team is very dynamic offensively, and they're very creative as well. And they have guys that can score from anywhere on the football field. Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of them, and you know he can turn a 10-yard pass into a touchdown, you know, instantly. Same with Jahmyr Gibbs. He's another one that is just tremendous, and just a game. He's the type of person that can just break open a game. So limit those explosive plays is going to be important for the Chicago Bears, and controlling that clock as much as possible, grinding out this win the hard way, and getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, no question. And for me, I'm keeping it real simple. Just win. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's
that works.
I know that's like we've tried to be more nuanced than that throughout the year, but I'm throwing nuance and details out. The Lions are coming off 2 pretty ugly losses to the Steelers and the Vikings. The Lions are a good team, and I think
they are.
People underestimate the
bad injury bug this year.
They've had the injury bug. They had their coaching staff rated.
Right.
They still, if they win this game, have an opportunity to finish with a winning record this season. In fact, every team in the NFC North could finish the year with a winning record.
And that matters.
Yeah, it does matter to teams.
That
Absolutely.
matters.
And I know it matters to Dan Campbell. You know, and so you got to win by any means necessary. I mean, Dan Campbell was quoted. He was asked, you know, how they were going to approach this game. And he said, we're not playing for the playoffs, but there's still things we can find out about our team. And I expect the guys that we have here to give it what they've got one more time. So they're going to be bringing it. They're coming off of 2 embarrassing losses. Had they not lost those 2 games, this game would be win or go home.
It would matter. Yeah.
And so instead they blow it. And now there's no way they want to finish the season on a 3-game losing streak. So this is the same Lions team that beat the Packers with Micah Parsons on Thanksgiving. This is the same Lions team that went toe-to-toe with the LA Rams a few weeks ago. The Rams ended up getting them in the fourth quarter. But at the same time, the Rams are highly explosive, and the Lions were right there step for step with them. And so things have gone awry, which worked into the Bears' favor. But don't expect the Lions to lay down in this game. In fact, they're going to give them just as tough a game as the Niners gave them. Their offense is just as explosive. It will be interesting to see the decision they make on Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's been dealing with injuries throughout the year and including in this last game. Guys like that, because I do think as much as there is, the risk of injury, which some fans are concerned about in the final game of the year, there is an inherent risk for the Lions for injuries as well when they have next year to worry about too. So football is about risk, and that's what you guys all sign up for when you play.
I honestly don't think that they're worried about that. I think that they're just worried about getting whoever's healthy out there and whooping our ass. That's what I think that they're worried about.
And that's
I don't think that they're trying to rest people or care about any of that stuff. They're saying, you know what, our season comes down to this game right here. It's the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Ben Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to give it their all, and they also are going to be reminded that they scored 50 points on the Chicago Bears. They are definitely going to be reminded of that. So they're going to try to do the exact same thing to the Chicago Bears this weekend.
Yeah, Ben Johnson was my assistant coach, not the other way around.
That's right. Yep. That's right. They got something to prove.
Yep. And so, the Lions and Dan Campbell, the last time they saw the Bears, they beat them 52-21. The Bears were 0-2 on the year, having lost 12 of their last 13 games at that point. And since then, the Bears have won 11 games. The division, they stole the division from Detroit since Detroit hasn't seen them since. And now the Bears are walking in division champs, but the Lions still certainly can have something to say about that. So for me, it's gonna be a slugfest. It may not be always pretty at times. Maybe the defense doesn't get everything together this week like we hope. But for me, ultimately, they can clean things up going into the playoffs. And you just got to win this game to secure that 2 seed. So you have home field advantage for at minimum 2 games. And then you also get that third round 3 against the Green Bay Packers. So just win by any means necessary. To your guys' points on the keys, those are the keys to how to get them. And then ultimately, the final one for me is stay healthy. And that's easier said than done. It's not something you can plan. But I do think a guy like Caleb Williams in this game does have to protect himself a little bit. I
hate that. I hate that term, but it's so necessary. And all coaches, they all do it. Your agents, especially your agents, will say that before this last game. It's, hey, go out there, play hard, don't get hurt. It's one of those worst things.
Don't get hurt.
We shouldn't even talk about this. This is a game of football. Injuries do happen, but we understand that there's risk.
At the same time,
we're playing football right now, and that's the only thing that matters.
And I understand, for you guys, to be told that before a game, it's almost like bad luck. And I get that. But for Caleb specifically in this game, the other players on the team, the running backs, the O-linemen, the DBs, they can't really protect themselves. They got to play. But when you're the quarterback, you can make the decision to go out of bounds. You can make the decision to throw the ball away. You can make the decision to, when you take a sack, go down before you take that big hit. And he can still do everything in his power to win this game, but also be cognizant of those things in certain moments. When you're running to the out of bounds mark sidelines and a guy is beelining on you and you have the decision between those 2 extra yards or just going out of bounds and living to fight the next play, I do think Caleb has to be smart in this game because the Lions aren't playing for nothing. Caleb is playing for the playoffs next week. So this is an unfair ask for me, but that's, to me, above winning this game, which is important, staying healthy, which is nothing they can control, is a big key to this game. They got to come out of this game clean as best they can. It's not something you can plan, but it is a big key. What injuries are sustained in this game will have an impact on how the playoffs go. So the Packers.
Well, Caleb hasn't been reckless all year.
Hasn't,
You know,
yeah.
he's been taking care of his body. I mean, the fact that like his sack total last year was in the 60s, and now I think it's like right around 20 or something like that, is way down from last year. And he's also like protecting himself by getting out of bounds and sliding when he has to and things like that. So he doesn't play reckless, and he doesn't put himself in bad situations. So he just has to continue what he's doing. You know, if he continues what he's doing, then he's going to be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So that wraps things up for Dubbets. And we appreciate Dubbets, or not Dubbets. That wraps things up.
We're about to start the bets.
I'm sorry, I'm tired as we've hit overtime here on the Brick by Brick podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm officially losing. I'll admit it.
You're hitting the panic button like crazy over there.
We're hitting all kind of buttons right now.
I'm losing
Panic
it.
button.
I'm working on like 3 hours of sleep since the Packers game 3
You
weeks
got a lot
ago.
of excuses, Greg. A lot of excuses.
I am. That I've made it.
And that'll do it for Dub Bets.
Whatever you're drinking, I want some too.
I never drink coffee. Or I need to go to Colombia. Need something to wake me up. But that wraps things up for the blueprint. And so now let's quickly run through helping you guys make some money with our good friends over at Circus Sports Illinois. That's right. You might have thought we just did this segment, but we did. We are here with Dub.
Steven, where are you?
We need you bad, Steven.
If
you're listening, call in now.
Don't tell him that. But we are helping you make some money with Circus Sports Illinois, and we're getting our lines with the bets and Circus Sports. So make sure you download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's right. It is officially week 18 here of the NFL season. We made it all the way through. Here is the slate of games for this week. Panthers at Bucks Saturday afternoon. We thought it was going to be for the division.
No, Baker's not baking anymore.
No, he is done. He put his hat down.
He sure did.
Yeah. And so if the Panthers win, they're in. But if the Bucks win, as much as we thought it might have been a win or go home game for both teams, if the Bucks win, they also need the Falcons to lose to the Saints. If the Bucks beat the Panthers, but then the Falcons beat the Saints, then the Panthers get in regardless of what happens on Saturday. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But if the Panthers win, they are in. That line is set as the Bucks as 2.5-point favorites at home. The Seahawks at 49ers on Saturday Night Football for the right of the number 1 seed in the NFC. Right now, the Seahawks are favorites on the road in San Francisco, 1.5-point favorites.
Wow. It's going to be a good game.
Do you want to know why, Braggs?
Defense.
Doggone right.
There you go.
Doggone
Defense.
Right. Defense. They play better defense.
They play good defense.
I would have to lean, after watching this last game and even watching the Seahawks over the last few weeks, the Seahawks have a really good defense.
Very good defense.
And the Niners
every level
defense is, whether you have a good offense like the Bears or a decent offense, you're going to score points on that Niners defense, because they, as much as we talk about the Bears not getting to the quarterback, the Niners had 0 sacks in that game as well.
0.
No pass rush whatsoever. So, you know, if the Seahawks win, they get the number 1 seed. But if the Niners win, they do. And if the Niners lose, depending on how that Bears-Lions game shakes out, there may be a rematch of Bears-Niners in the wild card if the Bears can't handle business at home against the Lions. Packers at Vikings, two teams that, are finishing things out. Packers sounds like won't be playing their starters. So that gives the Vikings a 6.5-point favorite edge with Circus Sports Illinois. The Vikings 6.5-point favorites at home over what we're assuming is going to be a rested Packers team. If the Vikings win, they finish with a winning record on the regular season. Then you've got Commanders at Eagles. If you're a Bears fan, you're rooting for the Commanders, but with Josh Johnson at quarterback for the Commanders, probably an unlikely scenario. The Eagles are 7-point favorites at home over the Commanders.
They should be.
It should be an easy one.
Yep, you would assume so, but you never know in the NFL these days. And then you got Cardinals at Rams, another one that you'd assume is going to be an easy one. The Rams, if I take a look here, are 7-point favorites at home over the Cardinals.
Sounds about right.
Cardinals are not a threat.
Then to wrap things up on the Chargers at Broncos, it's announced that the Chargers are resting their starters. If the Broncos win, they get the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they are 12.5-point favorites at home over the Chargers. That's a big number.
Big number.
Sounds like the Chargers are conceding to the Broncos.
Yep. And then you've got Ravens at Steelers on Sunday night.
It's going to be a good one.
Game of the week right there.
That line actually hasn't been posted yet because they don't know who the quarterbacks are. The quarterback is going to be for the Ravens in that game, so they're holding off on Circa Sports Illinois currently of what that line will be. And then the Bears and Lions, the Bears are 3-point favorites at home, and as we've learned throughout the year, typically when Vegas gives you that 3-point spread, they're and you're at home, that's basically a pick 'em. So Vegas sees this as a close game. The over-under, Jerry, is 50.5 points for the Bears and Lions. Obviously, Bears Niners put up a big number. Are you hammering the over, or you banking on the Soldier Field weather to bring that number down a bit?
I think that number will come down a little bit. I think we're going to see a lot more run than pass. And hopefully they can link these drives together and be successful on third down. So I'm thinking that this game will be very controlled. I think they're going to be watching the clock a lot, and they're going to keep the ball on the ground. So that's how I see it.
Okay. Well, that wraps things up for Dub Bets.
There you go.
Again.
There you go.
We appreciate Circus.
We double wrap around here.
That's right. That's right.
Reality spray.
And now, leveling out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Man, that was good.
It's been a great show.
All right. Well, that wraps things up for the Brick by Brick podcast. We appreciate every single one of you once again for subscribing to CHGO Sports here on YouTube. 100,000 subscribers was a big number we hit yesterday, and we're really proud of that. And we thank all of you for your support to everything we do here. Happy New Year. Enjoy the rest of your 2025 with your friends and family. And we look ahead to 2026 with some big aspirations for the Chicago Bears, Super Bowl aspirations here in January. And I wish all of you here in 2026 a great year personally for you and your families. So Lance, Jerry, it's been a pleasure working with you guys here all of 2025, building this fine program here on Brick Podcast. So thank you guys very much for being great teammates and being great friends. And we appreciate you guys very much. Even shout out to you, even though you aren't working on Brick by Brick here today. That's okay. You're busy enough. But
you are missed.
You are missed, clearly.
Very missed.
Yeah, and Lance's internet finally shrugged out on him.
Lance is now frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen. He's frozen. Not so funny anymore. Not
Look at this
so
guy.
funny. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Happy New Year. Keep your head up. And always
bear down.
We all silly like the mayor.